Hello and welcome back to Black Balance Fitness TV. I'm your host, Lamitra Rod, and this is our introductory episode of the Mentality Masterclass. Today's episode is going to be named the A.B.C's of Entrepreneurship. And just real quick before we start, I want to give my disclaimers. This is a totally original script. This is not meant to copy or reference or any books or authors or teachings by any other person. This is just simply a collection of my own thoughts and knowledge and what I think that can help new entrepreneurs in getting started with their businesses. I just decided to put it together and share it, and hopefully I can help motivate, inspire other people to follow their dreams and goals and live a happier life. So, I am a professional, but this is not for any type of professional advice as far as career or health or anything like that. Like I said, simply for motivation, inspiration, and entertainment. So let's get into it. So on this episode, we're going to discuss the three most important aspects of getting yourself and your business to the next level. These, I believe, are the fundamentals of elevating your identity to the next level and can help you in becoming your own boss. In order to gain growth in any arena, it takes time, energy, focus, and attention, and putting these things all in the right areas and in the right directions. We'll also discuss the importance of making associations with people in higher positions than yourself, or in more particularly in the positions that you want to be. The more time that you get to spend around true leadership, the more you'll learn. We'll talk about how the types of books that you read can greatly affect your professional and personal development, how to read for value and get the most from any content. Things like remaining open to enlightenment and coming to your own understanding and conclusion about certain things, doing things your own way. We'll talk about thinking bigger, letting your mind envision life and goals that you never thought were possible. And finally, we'll talk about how conventions equal connections, and connections initiate growth, and growth allows for expansion in your business. And so conventions are really the place to be if you want to find out what's new in your industry, if you want to stay relevant, really, if you want to stand out in any industry, you have to be in the know, right? The newest innovations and offers and competitors that are on the scene, especially in the sales market, because it encompasses more than you think when you break down sales and business in itself. Really, you can't have a productive business if you don't sell any type of good or services. So the art of sales is important, and it's something that you learn through people skills. And so, well, don't sell yourself short. Get out there and rub elbows with the stars in your industry from a safe distance, of course, right? But we're going to go ahead and break this down a little bit more on the whiteboard. I know it's a little bit small, so I'll try to write big. And let's get into it. Class is now in session. All right, so some important questions to ask yourself. When we talk about associations, um, who do you acquaint yourself with? Not just in business, but in your personal life, daily, weekly, monthly, um, yearly. Are you willing and ready? Second question, are you really willing, ready, and able to cut out unnecessary people? Shout out to Lilo's Vanity for that one. I love that term that she used. I wish I could remember the name of the video at which she used it, but unnecessary people, and I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but unnecessary people in your life, hanger-ons, and people that are just there just because who they are or how they're connected, can be a hindrance. And last question to ask yourself, are you nurturing the valuable connections that you do have already? So whether in personal or in business, who you choose to give your time, energy, and attention to can greatly affect your life. So you want to choose wisely with that. And so how we break that down, right, is in business, you have your upline, right? You got your sidelines, right? And then you got your downlines, okay? And so in your upline, right, these are your leaders, right? Your mentors, people that you look up to or go to for, time in business. So, we don't have bosses, because if, obviously if you're an entrepreneur, I guess if you are at a job, that could be a boss. Could be considered your upline or a supervisor. But of course, those are things that you don't have once you come into a business mindset. Your sidelines in business could be your colleagues. Also your competitors, depending. And your downlines, this would be like interns or trainees. In business, you can always run into toxic energy and toxic people, especially when you get into dealing with competitors, trainees, mentorship, especially. Be careful who you lock in with, I would say. But I think that on the personal side is where we have the most issues when it comes to associations and starting a new business. So if we were to mirror this for our family dynamic, you would look at your uplines as your elders. That would be like, grandparents, aunties or uncles, big cousins, people like that. People that you would look up to, significantly older. If you look at your sidelines, this could be other family and friends. Family and friends, this could be co-workers. And this is where you get a lot of unnecessary people. This is that area where unnecessary people can come in and take over areas where they have no business. So this is the part where you really need to think of who needs to be cut out when you look at entrepreneurship. Friends that are stuck in old ways and old habits. Family members that can't distinguish the childhood you from the adult you, and toxic coworkers that if they're no good to work with at a regular job, they're probably no good to work with in a business. So be careful who you connect with and reach out to as you start on this journey. And finally, your downlines as far as personal goals would be, I would say, your children and community. And this is the important part. This is where you talk about building, and that's for both sides here, right? That's for both of these interns, trainees, people that you bring in, business partners, new business partners that you bring in and that you're teaching or mentoring, you know, are on the same level as your children and your community, your nieces and nephews, your people that you care about and that cheered you on as a child. These are the people that you're looking to give back to and to take care of. This is your when you get into your why. Why are you building? Why are you doing? Why are you passionate about what you do? And most of the time it is about, especially in this day and age, in the age of Aquarius, it's about building generational wealth and passing down important knowledge that can help us grow. And so when it comes to your associations, your acquaintances, who you deal with on a regular basis, these are the areas to consider and to make those important changes in. So I hope you guys can hear that with me turning from the camera, but I guess we'll see when we chop it up. All right, and moving forward. All right, and now on to books. So 3 important questions to ask yourself about books. Number 1, what do you read and how often? Number 2, are you open to new ideas and different perspectives? And lastly, do you read because you need to or because you want to? Because there's a big difference there. Something that my coach, Mr. Franco, always says to me, the brain is a muscle, and building that mental capacity is a vital necessity. It helps with communicating and relating in partnerships, both business and personal. So I am going to give you guys my top 5 reasons to read daily. All right. So number 1 is for personal development. So we all go through things in our lives, right? Show me somebody who has had an easy life, no problems, and I will show you a liar. Okay, let me tell you something. We all go through hard times, and sometimes it takes a little more than just pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, and that's where personal development comes into play. Personal development can help with stress, mental health, and problem solving. It's very important to read for personal development, and it's something you should indulge in. I understand that the genre can seem a bit dry from the outside, but I'm telling you, once you really get into delving into other people's stories and how they fought through, you'll really understand what it means to really push through and develop yourself into a whole new version. Most recently, the personal development book that I read was how to fail your way to success, I believe. The author will be pinned. I will put the author in the description box because I can't think of it off my head, but I will put the name of the book and the author in the description box. But absolutely, it was about the cartoonist for Dilbert and the way his journey to being a successful cartoonist, and it was quite a story, and I really enjoyed it, and it gave me a lot of great insight. So definitely something to look at. reading for personal development. So number 2, top 5 reason to read daily is professional development. So professional development, reading about, knowing your craft is very, very important. Reading about, like I said up on in our introduction, being in the know, being knowledgeable on the newest innovations in your industry is so important, and reading is a big part of that. News articles, magazines, books, especially as far as professional development. This can also be attending, conventions or meetings or trainings, whatever you can do to learn more about what it is you do. I think professional development is important to not get overconfident or arrogant, even complacent in where you're at in your business. And so moving forward, third top 5 reason for reading every day is educational development. Again, like professional development, learning your craft, training yourself, not just learning your craft. Education is important at all ages, and our brains can only hold so much knowledge. It is important to always brush up on the basics. It's important to educate yourself in different ways. I don't think that we should ever stop schooling ourselves, even if it's not particularly a college class. I am a huge proponent of self-teaching. Self-education is very important. Just pick a subject, something you've always wanted to know about. Check out a book on it, do a few experiments or something, and learn something new. No reason why you can't. And it'll definitely help you, especially in entrepreneurship. 4th reason to read daily is spiritual development. Of course, y'all know my tagline, physically, mentally, and spiritually fit, is very, very important, regardless of which religion. If you're into organized religion, if you're into a more freestyle, if you're into, witchcraft, whatever you're into, it's important that you really develop that bond and that spiritual faith. It's important that we have something to believe in and tie ourselves to. As we are spiritual beings, we really are not the body. When you get the understanding of we are not this body, we are the spirit. The body is a vehicle, which we can interact with this physical realm, but when the body dies, the spirit doesn't. Which we know that. If regardless, whatever religion or spirituality, whatever you follow, we know that we're more than what we see. And so knowing that, it's important to keep your spiritual development, keep your faith, regardless of what it or who it's in. Know what you believe in, be grounded in that. Stay grounded in that by practicing and developing and reading about it regularly. And finally, last but certainly not least, number 5, recreation and relaxation. This last one, I feel like it's one of the most important reasons to read. Recreation and relaxation. Sorry, I know the lights. I can't really hold on, y'all. There we go. Okay. Recreation and relaxation. It's important, and this is where you can really branch out. This is where you can pick up a random fashion magazine, a comic book, hell, a coloring book if you want to. This is your time. It's important to rest your brain, rest yourself, your body, and reading is a great way to do that and to pass that time. And it doesn't always have to be serious. It doesn't always have to be one of the top 4. Every now and then, it is important to read recreationally. I say daily. One of my favorite ways to read recreationally is actually reading tarot cards and reading about astrology and studying up on crystals and things like that. Also a spiritual development for me. So books, man, books are so important. In the agency, we actually have a book of the month, and they're always very interesting. I can't say that they're all the same. It's not droll, it's not boring, and it really helps to keep everyone on the same accord and with alignment of where the trajectory of the business is going. So I do absolutely love doing the book of the month, and that's absolutely something that if you don't have that going in your business, you probably should. One of the recent books that I've read for personal development was a recommendation by Ms. Natasha Blair, and it was Outwitting the Devil. And it really took me to a new level. I will post the title and author in the description box for that as well. Other books that you may have heard me mention before on different series from this channel are like the 5 Love Languages. I love books about relationship. That's definitely one that if I were to keep going, I could add to the list. I'm telling you guys, I could talk about books and reading all day. It's one of my favorite pastimes. But absolutely, relationship development books, they're good to not only to read for yourself, but also to recommend to friends. A lot of times you can ruin friendships by giving personal advice because, you know, a lot of times our personal advice is based on our own bias from you know, situations and things that happen, circumstances in our own lives, in order to not, you know, color yourself in a bad light or to give anyone advice that may have been right for you but may be wrong for them. A way to help your friend but still avoid you know, backlash and blame for ruining someone's life with your advice. Recommend a book. I actually did an interview with an author series, which is posted, so I'm gonna scroll down and watch that, with Miss Kinji Hithe. She is the author of the book right here. Actually, I have it. Ooh, one I can actually show y'all. She's the author of the book Attack on Marriage, Fighting for Your Soulmate, and it was a wonderful read, y'all, and a wonderful interview, so please tune in and watch it when you get a chance. Okay, and our final subject here, conventions. The C in our A.B.Cs. 3 questions to ask yourself. How large is your network? Are you reaching your target market? And what's new and innovative in the industry? An especially important question in today's fast-paced, instantly and constantly changing economy. So, story time real quick. Okay, so whenever I first started this business, it was like right during COVID. So we ended up having to do our last 2 conventions virtually. And I was like a little skeptical at first because I'm like, they're still selling tickets to this thing, a couple $100. I'm like, it's a lot. But you know what? It really was worth the money. The technology was top notch. You felt like you were there the guest speakers alone, I mean, wow. But man, I was so excited, and I got to see a lot. It really sparked something new in me. It sparked a new energy in me that made me want to get out there and just, mingle and be with the people, and to get out there and not only to share my own knowledge, but to gain and gather knowledge from other people that knew so much more than me and had been in the industry for so much longer. And I was totally enamored to learn that some of the speakers that I had seen at this huge event were actually on the same team as me. And so I was like, oh, this is super dope. It's so awesome. And so a couple months back in January, we had our another big event virtually, and it was amazing when you come in, of course virtually on your computer. When you log in, it's like flying you over the big stadium convention center, and it brings you down. You see all the people walking in. It's a beautiful sunny day. The virtual doors open. You see all the booths and all the different rooms, and there's the arena where you're gonna sit and watch the main event. And it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. A total virtual reality experience, and I've never seen anything like it before. Top-notch technology. I was so excited, but I am even more excited to experience it in person, and of course I will be updating y'all on that. So keep tuning in and looking out. But hey, you don't have to wait for another big event to get that type of excitement and that gain in knowledge and wisdom and energy. You can treat every meeting, every acquaintance, every connection like a mini big event. And I think that's important. I think it's important to not have dry, stale type of energy in your office and in your meetings. It's very important to have a culture that is vibrant, energetic, and pulls people in. And so, I think really when you have that type of energy, whether you're in a big convention or a small one, it really opens the door for transformation and empowerment, not only for yourself but for others too. So my advice for going into big events and conventions, meetings, anything where you are connecting and networking with other business people, have an expectation for success. Know that go in there with an expectation of learning and gaining knowledge, of being, blown away. If there's a guest speaker, regardless if you know who they are or not, people pay thousands of dollars for guest speakers. They're not going to just invite any random person that they don't think is going to give some type of value to their people. So it's very important to remain open-minded and learn everything that you can from anybody that you connect with. Secondly, I would say, I'd like to say, have a show up and show out mentality. Oh man, I've said show up and show out for years. Everybody has. We know that's an old saying, but most recently, at our last big event that I told you was virtual, right? Okay, so Midwest region got together and booked a space and did it big, did it in person, big screens, like the whole nine, gala night. Oh my gosh, they posted a group picture, so crispy, so fly. I was like, oh my god, I'm jelly. I'm about to move to the Midwest, like for real, like real life. Man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see so many people, so many different people from so many different backgrounds pushing so hard together in this business. And they flew from all over to come together and show up for a virtual event. And that, I think, that was literally my comment. Like, they sparked that new hashtag for me that I put now. Show up and show out, because that's exactly what they did, and they took it above and beyond, and man, I can't wait till I get to that level. So moving forward, set your intentions for a breakthrough. This is something I kind of touched on it a little bit at the beginning, with having an expectation of success, but really, if you go into an event or a meeting with the intention of, I'm going to get the most out of this that I can, you're focused, you're paying attention, you're engaged, you're taking notes, you know what I'm saying? It really makes a huge difference. It really does. And if I know that obviously I do tarot and things like that, so there's going to be a lot of the spiritual community that watch my page, and so y'all know already how important it is to set your intentions, especially if you're trying to manifest something. Being intentional in everything you do, and especially when you are surrounded by other energies and distractions, is especially important. So always make sure going into any event, any meeting, any type of something where you're learning, or have the potential to set your intentions. Set your intentions for an epiphany, a breakthrough, for a new spark, for knowledge, for something that's going to change your life. And last, but certainly not least, earn the respect and time of higher level leadership. So what that means, y'all can make out my chicken scratch here, but I repeated it, so y'all good. Earning the time and respect of higher level leadership. Honestly, I don't care how that sounds. You have to earn that. You absolutely have to earn the respect of people in higher levels and higher leadership. And that's not to say that you would look down on someone that isn't in that position. Of course, we all have heard, you treat the janitor with the same respect that you treat the CEO, and I understand that, and that's all well and good and cool and all. But the janitor doesn't have the connections and the networking and all of the knowledge that you need to get to the level of the CEO. So earning a level of respect with the janitor isn't as important as earning a level of respect to get the time of the CEO. So it's levels to this. It's not to, like I said, it's not to put anybody down, but being in a room with people that are smarter than you, that have reached higher levels than you, puts you in a place to gain and learn, and it is important and necessary, and especially in business and entrepreneurship. A lot of times you get to a certain place in business where you need help, where you need someone who knows or has the connections to make things happen. And if you haven't earned the respect and time of those who can do that, then you maybe in a little boat just paddling, So it's important. It's definitely important. Yeah, and so that is the end of our mentality masterclass. Associations, books, and conventions. Setting your intentions. Showing up, showing out. Reading for development. We talked about a lot in this episode. I hope that you all can get something out of it. I will continue this series. Post about it coming soon. Look out for new interview with a boss guest. Look out for a new interview with the author. I will be doing a book blast very soon for said author. I'm very excited about what is new to come in May for Black Balance Fitness TV. Tune in later tonight for our Sundays gardening, grounding, and growth. We'll be talking more about crystals for healing. And also, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We are bringing back Monday's workout of the week with 10 more yoga cars with Minnie. So look out for that. Thank you all again for tuning in tonight to Black Balance Fitness TV, the Mentality Masterclass, A.B.C's of Entrepreneurship. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Post in the comments and tell me what you think are the fundamentals to entrepreneurship. And as always, remember to stay physically, mentally, and spiritually fit. Have a good night.